Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolor. Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to have a look at this set of Paul Rubens watercolor paints, which come in a very... I've been given these so that I can talk about them with you by actual Paul Rubens, which is a Chinese company, and they've been working very hard over the last few years to produce paints which are equivalent to the European ones, or the Western ones, I suppose American ones too. And we're going to have a look. I'm going to see for the first time whether or not they actually live up to their claims of being, well, they say they're suitable for professionals. They say they're light proof and intense colours and all the rest of it, all the things that you would hope to have with these kinds of paints. This is two of my brushes here, two of my Japanese brushes. I'll just pop those out, put there for the purpose of a photograph. So we've got 24 colours here, and I've got to now unwrap them all, and I'm not going to subject you to the wonderful experience of watching me clumsily unwrap all of these paints. I've been putting this off, actually, doing this. I have actually been putting it off because I find this kind of thing really quite tedious with my clumsy old hands. Yeah, so I'm sure you don't want to watch me do that, but just while I am doing it, if I can get any of them out, I think it's probably best to slide it to the... Is it best to slide it to the end? No, pull that back. Okay, so pull this curly thing back a bit, but not too far, because if you do it will stay in the wrong position and you'll have to squeeze it back again. So fast forward and just do the last one here. So as I was saying, they say that they don't have a lot of filler in them, so they produce nice, strong, intense colours, and they're suitable for professionals as well as serious beginners. That is to say, beginners who don't want to waste their time starting off with rubbish paints and getting depressed and finding that watercolour is actually quite hard if you don't have the right materials, like most things, actually. Okay, so there we are. We've got the 24 colours, and they're the normal colours. There's nothing particularly unusual about them. We have the range here of ordinary colours. We've got all the way from white through lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, Indian yellow, Naples yellow. That's a very good thing. It's got Naples yellow, which is a colour that I really quite like to use. It's very handy for soft skies and things like that. Then we've got orange, cadmium red. It's a hue, which means it doesn't actually have any cadmium in it. So yes, these paints are also non-toxic. And carmine, which is another red, magenta, violet, indigo, ultramarine, all the regular colours. Prussian blue, cyan, which is going to be a kind of greenish blue, a bit like manganese blue or cerulean blue. Brilliant green, May green, which I am guessing it's going to be like sap green. Permanent green, which is obviously a staple for mixing other varieties of green. Olive green, very useful colour. Yellow ochre, burnt umber, sepia, English red, which is a nice opaque reddish brown, Payne's grey and black. So that's what those colours are. So they come in this very swish box, very strong, very sturdy box, which I don't know what the point of that is, but anyway. So the first thing you have to do when you start with paints is to wet them, and the best thing to do is to, don't worry about spoiling them. They're paints. They're not makeup, they're not jewellery, they're not a work of art yet. So you wet them, otherwise you can't paint. And I think I will quickly, and I mean fairly quickly, go through and swatch these out. I'm going to assume that they're in the correct colour, order, rather. So I'm assuming this is light lemon yellow. Can you see that? Yes, I think it must be, it is true to say that that is lemon yellow. The next one is cadmium yellow hue. When it says hue, it means it's not actually got that colour in it. That's not got cadmium in it, but it's got something similar. Now this is Indian yellow, which is an opaque orange. This is what they call Naples yellow, which is also very opaque. It's not the same as the Naples yellow that I'm used to. I would say that's a pretty good flesh tone. Probably people who like to paint portraits would like that one. This is what they call orange. So it's kind of scarlet. It looks like Scarlet Lake. That colour does. It's a nice strong orange colour. This one is cadmium red. Hue, again. Hue because it's not got cadmium in it. So that's a bright fire engine red. Then carmine, which is going to be similar to alizarin crimson, which is a cooler red, more on the bluish side, whereas this is more on the yellowish side. So when you're making mixtures, you need to bear that in mind. This is magenta, which as it goes on the paper there doesn't look very different from the carmine. So we'll see what happens when that's dry. Here we have violet, which doesn't pick up very well from the paint pan. That colour is, by my book, completely out of kilter with the others because it doesn't pick up in the same. I could see that one never being used. Luckily, you can mix your own violet with a red and a blue, but that's a weak, very weak colour. This is indigo, which on the other hand is extremely strong. So that's a useful colour. Mix indigo with yellow and you get a good green. And then we've got ultramarine. Always makes me think of school uniforms, that colour. I don't know why. I'm sure I didn't wear that colour at school. Maybe I did. Okay, so that's that. And then here we've got, what colour is that? That's black. So we'll go back to this end here, and this should be Prussian blue. That's a nice strong Prussian blue, sometimes called phthalo blue. It's the same thing, really. This is cyan, which, as I said, is probably greenish. It's like manganese or cerulean, but it's much stronger. Very strong. That will go a long way. You can't fault these for intensity. Well, that's a fact. And this one is brilliant green. That's a kind of emerald green, sometimes also called phthalo green. I wouldn't be surprised if it was very similar to phthalo green. This is May green, which looks pretty opaque. And personally, I would probably, if I was using this, try to steer clear of that one. Might be something useful for cartoons and anime and so on, but I don't think I would use it much. Permanent green, as I said earlier, that would be a good colour to mix with oranges and reds and yellows to make all sorts of different greens. All of those together, though, they are quite nice, but this one is, you want to be careful with that because that's opaque. This is olive green. The paints are very intense, so you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck here. They'll go a long way. This is yellow ochre. I'm almost picking up too much. That's a nice colour combination for nature. Burnt umber. Burnt umber is not quite so intense as some of them, but it's the right colour. It looks a bit more like burnt sienna, actually, which is missing. Burnt sienna is not in this set, which would cause me some problems if I was using this set as a main set. I would have to go and buy myself some burnt sienna. I can't paint without burnt sienna. Burnt sienna and ultramarine blue make a very nice grey, very suitable for English skies. That's sepia, not a very dark sepia. This is English red, very similar to Indian red and Venetian red, just a kind of opaque, very heavy, very intense reddish brown colour. This is Payne's Grey, which is a bluish black. Another one that's useful for mixtures. Don't use it on its own, really. And then finally we have black. I didn't bother to swatch the white because it won't show up on this paper. I don't know whether it's very opaque. Let's see what happens. I'll pick a bit of it up. Yeah, it looks as if it might be quite opaque. But it's probably better used for mixing so that you can make your pastels using opaque, Chinese white, opaque white, whatever they want to call it, for making pastels from these colours. Okay, so there we are. That's swatched out, so that's useful to have beside you if you want to, remind yourself what's in the tin. And it goes that way at the bottom and that way at the top. So it's kind of back to front. Anyway, never mind. It's fine. Okay, so then the other thing, before I do a painting, which I'm going to do in a minute, I just wanted to quickly talk about something else, which is this. I often use blocks of paper and pads, sketchbooks and various other things. But I just wanted to just quickly mention the other alternative. If you're trying to save a little bit of money on your paper, what you can do is instead of buying a pad like just a sec, get it out. Like this one, instead of buying one of these, this is a watercolor block. It's glued all the way around and it's very convenient if you want to paint a whole picture that size. If you're going to paint something smaller, of course, you'd have to take the paper out, cut it in half. And you might find yourself doing that quite often. And do you realise how much money you're wasting by doing that? Because every time you take a piece of paper out of a block to paint on it, you are undoing all the work that somebody did to glue it all together. And you also paid for this very thick cardboard backing here, and the cover and everything. And therefore, the paper that's inside here is costs a lot more than it should do. So what you can do is you can buy full sheets or half sheets of paper and then just cut them up. And I went through my drawer last night, pulling out some full sheets, and I don't cut them with scissors. I cut them by folding and then using a paper knife. So you fold it in half and half again, and you just slice down there, and you've got pieces of paper. You can save a lot of money this way by buying sheets and cutting them up with a knife. Don't bother cutting them with scissors, you'll be there all day. But if you use a paper knife, fold them up, cut them with a knife like this. And so here I've got a sheet of Saunders Waterford hot press, which is nice smooth paper, and I'm probably going to use that for the next video I do, which is going to be something Christmassy. Then I've got a big bunch of paper here. This is an unknown watercolour paper. I don't know what it is. So we'll work through that. And then I had a sheet of Winsor & Newton, £140, 2 sheets of that. Made that into small pieces. I've got some arches, Lavis Fidelis. And if you label it, like I have, with a piece of paper and a paper clip. This is Fabriano, 50%. That's what's it called? Artistico, Fabriano Artistico. And then I've got something here called Lana, which is a very nice 100% cotton. I think that's I think that's a Winsor & Newton one, I'm not quite sure, but it's nice paper. And then I've got here some Canson XL watercolor paper. This is a cheaper one that you'll find very easily available in America. Buy the sheet and it's cheaper. And this is B paper. This is something that Denise sent me, which I know has been popular in America, but that doesn't come in the sheet. So that's just an inexpensive paper. So I'm just going to pop those over there for now. And then I'm going to come back and I shall do a quick painting with you now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out a sheet of this unknown watercolour paper. Hopefully I'm going to be painting on the right side of it. And I'm just going to draw a circle because I'm going to draw a circle really lightly if I can find a pencil. And I'm going to just go round. I'm not quite sure yet until I pick up my brush whether I'm going to fill the circle or go round the circle. I think I might fill it, if you see what I mean. So, organised. Yes, I can just about see that. So I've got a circle here. And I'm going to try out as many of these paints as is reasonable, I think. I'm just looking for a small brush. I'm going to use a small brush. I don't like using small brushes usually, but I'm going to use a small brush this time because this paint box is, small. So not my style normally. So I'm going to go for olive green, which is next to this one. That's this one, right? So let's pick up a bit of olive green and put it there. And I'm going to also pick up a bit of cadmium orange. And then I'm going to start with a leaf. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I'll add a bit of red. And maybe I'll add a bit of blue. This one smaller. So that's kind of made a grey because I've got green, blue and red there all together. Let's pick up a bit of red and we'll just do some berries. Add some darker. Oh, that's pink. Don't really like that very much. And then we might want some dark on the edge of the berries to give them some shadow. And maybe some narrow stems. Maybe we'll do some darker berries here. And then let's go back to green. And I think we need something really dark in here, so I'm just going to put some very small. There's nothing wrong with this paper. I have no idea what it is, like I said, but we will be using it. I don't think there's anything wrong with this paper anyway. Just put the stems in so that they can join on to the wreathy thing. And you want, when you're doing something like this, what you want to do is keep a good variety of colours. So don't just paint all the leaves green. That's not a very good idea. you need to vary it all and make it... I'm looking for a good red here. I'm not sure about that. I think I put a bit of blue in it. They're very, very strong, these colours, very strong. Okay, that's not too bad. Put a nice flower there in sort of mauvey colour like that, perhaps. And I think probably need one up here. And maybe a dash in there. And if you use a little palette like this, you keep this thing clean because it'll be ruined. Otherwise, I'll tell you what I'm missing here is quinacridone gold, which isn't in the set. They know it never is. So if I'm going to want quinacridone, I'm going to have to go to my other set, which is always at hand. And so then let's have some nice brown berries here, perhaps. And then maybe we'll carry on around this line here. I shall put a brown leaf and I think we're getting around that side there, coming up towards wanting some red. So we'll put some small red berries in there. And where was that was the indigo, wasn't it? Something a bit green. Now, this one was weak, wasn't it? I'm going to need another mixing palette. Just a sec. Very weak. If we mix a little bit of this Naples yellow, Naples in with it, we can get a nice pink. Could put some pink up here too. And then maybe some more green. And I'm going to put some more of this colour up here. Let's put some brown seed heads. Or fruits or something. Yeah, probably more likely fruits. And dark brown. Like that. And I think we need some more red now, bright red. So we'll come back into the scarlet here. And let me think. Green, and all these colours are working. I haven't tried out any of the yellows yet, have I? Let's put in a couple of yellows. But I'm tending towards the oranges a bit more, but trying to keep away from the opaque oranges. I'm going to pop the leaf in there because being right-handed, I'm coming around the side here, finding it a little bit awkward. I'll just drop some dark brown into that orange. And let me think, what shall we do next? I'm not taking too long thinking about this because I don't want this to be a super long video. And we're going to put another one of these reddish things down here. I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. That could have a bit more dark in it, and so could that one. And then I'm going to want kind of greyish green leaves. Or blue. Let's put some blue in there. That's better. And a little bit of greenish orange. And I'm keeping all the leaves the same kind of shape, just to give a little bit of harmony, because there's a lot of colour. A lot of colour. I like that pink I made with the this flesh tone, I would call that, and this weak violet, which is very weak, but it's actually going to probably turn out to be, oddly enough, one of my favourite colours, because it makes a very soft pink, which is actually quite hard to achieve. I think we're going to use that one a lot. And let's put some grey in here. Put some fine stems. It's a nice brush because it does allow you to paint really fine lines. And we want some more berries here, perhaps some orange ones. Put some up here too. And perhaps a little bit of grey in here. And when that's dry, you can go around and just kind of tweak it. I think probably before I stop, we're going to put some orange, something to balance that over here. So nice bright orange berries coming out to the side there. And I think probably that will do for now. So yes, these are good colours. You would enjoy them if you decide to buy them. Give them a go. About $50 for the set of 24 paints. More traditional than the Kuretake ones, and I don't think you'll have any problems making a nice little painting with that. So if you enjoyed this, give us a like and subscribe, and perhaps consider joining our channel or Patreon, where you can support us, which is great. And also we've just redone our website, which is now new. Everything's the same as before. You've still got all your same free sketches and all the different blogs that I write every couple of days. It's all there, all the same, except it just looks 100% better. It's a brand new look. And go and have a look and see what you think. Let us know if you have any problems with it or any questions. So I'll let you go now. Enjoy, and I'll see you here again soon. So bye for now, everybody. Bye bye.